Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Relaxed English Listening. Practice the podcast, where you improve your English by listening to calm, real, human conversations. My name is Alex. And wherever you are right now, walking, resting, working, or just taking a quiet moment for yourself, I'm really glad you're here with us today. Because today's topic is something every human understands: change. Some changes are exciting. Some changes are difficult, and some changes happen quietly, without us even noticing at first. But all change teaches us something.
Hi everyone, I'm Lena. And I want to be honest, change has always been a little scary for me. Even small changes, a new job, a new routine, meeting new people. Sometimes I feel excited, but at the same time I feel nervous inside.
That's completely normal. Change means stepping into the unknown, and the unknown can feel uncomfortable. But it's also where growth happens. Today, we're going to talk about life changes in simple, clear English. Not just grammar, but real life, real feelings, real experiences. And as always, you don't need to understand everything. Just listen, relax, and let your brain learn naturally. Lena, can I ask you something? Has there been a big change in your life recently?
Yes, actually, there has. About 3 months ago, my best friend moved to another city. We had been friends for almost 8 years. We used to see each other almost every week. We would drink coffee together, talk about work, talk about life, even talk about nothing. And then suddenly, she was gone.
That must have felt like a big emotional change. Not just physically, but emotionally too.
Yes, at first it felt very strange. I remember one Saturday morning, I woke up and instinctively reached for my phone to text her. I wanted to say, "Do you want to get coffee today?" But then I remembered she wasn't in the city anymore. And I just stared at my phone for a few seconds. It felt quiet. Too quiet.
I understand that feeling. When someone is part of your daily life and suddenly they're not, it leaves an empty space. Not just in your routine, but in your emotional world.
Exactly. Even small things changed. For example, there was a coffee shop we always went to. One day, I walked past it alone. I looked inside, and it felt different. Nothing had changed physically. The same chairs, the same tables, the same people. But emotionally, it felt different. Because she wasn't there.
Places can hold memories. And when life changes, those places remind us of who we used to be and who used to be with us.
Yes, but something interesting happened. About 2 weeks later, she called me. Not a text, a real call. We talked for almost an hour. She told me about her new apartment, her new coworkers, her new routine, and I could hear something in her voice. She sounded nervous, but also hopeful.
Hopeful. That's an important word. Even when change is difficult, hope can exist at the same time.
Yes, and after that call, I realized something. Our friendship didn't disappear, it just changed form. We don't see each other physically, but we still care about each other. We still talk, we still laugh, we still share our lives, just in a different way.
If you're listening right now, you may have experienced something similar. Maybe a friend moved away. Maybe you changed jobs. Maybe your daily life looks different than it did 1 year ago. Change can feel like loss at first. But sometimes change is also the beginning of something new. Not a replacement, but an expansion.
Alex, earlier you used the word routine. I hear that word often, and it feels important, but I want to understand it more deeply. What exactly is a routine?
That's a great question. A routine is something you do regularly, something that becomes part of your normal life. For example, waking up at the same time every day, drinking coffee in the morning, walking your dog every evening, calling your parents every Sunday. These repeated actions become your routine.
That makes sense. So when my friend moved away, my routine changed too, because she was part of my normal life.
Exactly. And when routines change, it can feel uncomfortable at first. But humans are very adaptable. we slowly create new routines, new rhythms, new emotional patterns.
I also noticed another word you used. You said, it left an empty space. That felt very emotional. What does that mean exactly?
An empty space doesn't always mean physical space. It often means emotional space. For example, when someone important is no longer part of your daily life, you may feel their absence. That feeling is the empty space. It's not something you see, it's something you feel.
That explains it perfectly. It's like when my family dog passed away last year. For years, every morning, he would come to my room, he would sit next to my bed and wait for me to wake up. After he was gone, the mornings felt different, quieter. There was an empty space in my routine and in my heart.
Animals are family too. They become part of our emotional world. And when they're gone, we feel the change deeply. I experienced a big change recently too. One of my coworkers left our company. We had worked together for almost 5 years. Every day, we shared ideas, helped each other solve problems. Sometimes, when work felt stressful, we would joke and laugh together. He made difficult days easier.
Did it feel strange when he left?
Yes. The first week, I kept turning to his desk to ask him something. But his desk was empty, and I had to remind myself he wasn't there anymore. But later, he called me. He told me he had started a new job. He sounded more confident, more energized. And I realized change wasn't just affecting me. It was helping him grow too. Take a moment right now and think about your life. What has changed recently? Maybe something small, maybe something big. Change can feel uncomfortable, but good change also means you are moving forward in God's hands. You are growing. You are living.
And God helps us discover strength we didn't know we had.
Exactly. And in part 2, we're going to explore something deeper. How change can bring unexpected connections, new friendships, new confidence, and even new versions of yourself. Before the break, we talked about how change can feel uncomfortable, how routines change, how friendships evolve, how life moves forward even when we're not ready. But something important often happens after the uncomfortable stage. Growth. Not fast, not dramatic, but quiet growth.
I experienced that recently. After my friend moved away, I spent more time alone. At first, I didn't like it. I missed having someone to talk to every day. But slowly, I started doing things I had postponed for a long time. I started taking evening walks. I started reading again, and something unexpected happened. I started enjoying my own company.
That's a powerful realization. Learning to feel comfortable with yourself is a form of emotional strength, not loneliness, but independence.
Yes, and something else happened too. One evening, during one of my walks, I saw my neighbor walking her dog. We had seen each other before, but we had never talked. This time she smiled and said hello. We started talking about her dog. His name was Oliver. He was friendly and calm, and that simple conversation turned into a new connection.
Sometimes, when one door closes, another one opens quietly. Not to replace what you lost, but to expand your life. Let's explore something powerful. Contrast. The difference between the past and the present. Lena, can you describe your life before your friend moved away and your life now?
Before she moved away, my life felt very predictable. We had routines, coffee on Saturdays, text messages every day. I didn't think about it. It was just normal life. But now, my life feels quieter, more open, more unknown. At first, that scared me, but now it feels like space. Space to grow, space to discover new parts of myself.
That's a beautiful example of emotional contrast. Before. Comfort and familiarity. Now. Uncertainty, but also growth. Both have value.
Alex, earlier you said something that stayed in my mind. You said, life feels more open now. What does open mean in this emotional sense?
That's a thoughtful question. When life feels open, it means the future is not fixed. There are possibilities, new experiences, new people, new directions. It can feel uncertain, but it can also feel full of potential.
That makes sense. It's like standing at the beginning of a new path. You don't know exactly where it leads, but you know you're moving forward.
Exactly. And forward movement is part of being alive.
Change also happened in my family recently. My younger brother started college in another state. He used to live at home. Every morning, I would see him in the kitchen. He would always look sleepy. He would drink coffee quietly. Sometimes we talked, sometimes we didn't, but his presence was part of my life. Now, the house feels different.
I understand that feeling. When someone leaves home, their absence becomes noticeable, not in a loud way, but in small, quiet moments.
Yes, but last week, he called me. He told me he joined a student group. He made new friends. He sounded more confident, more independent, and I felt proud of him. I realized change wasn't taking him away. It was helping him become himself.
That's one of the most beautiful parts of change. Watching people grow. Even when growth creates distance, love remains, connection remains. Now let's practice some natural phrases connected to change and growth. Repeat after me. Take your time. Speak gently. My life has changed recently.
My life has changed recently.
At first, it felt uncomfortable.
At first, it felt uncomfortable,
But I am learning to adapt.
but I am learning to adapt.
Change helps us grow.
Change helps us grow.
I am becoming stronger.
I am becoming stronger.
Excellent. These are not just English sentences. They are life sentences. They reflect emotional truth. If you are listening right now, maybe your life has changed too. Maybe you moved to a new place. Maybe you started a new job. Maybe someone important is no longer part of your daily routine. If that's true, you are not alone. Change is part of every human story. And even when it feels uncomfortable, you are adapting. You are growing. You are becoming stronger. One day at a time.
And remember, some of the strongest, happiest versions of ourselves were born during times of change. Alex, can I ask you something personal?
Of course.
Do you think people ever stop changing?
No. I don't think we stop changing. Even when we don't notice it, God continues shaping us. Our experiences, our relationships, our challenges. He slowly transforms us. And that's not something to fear. It is something that brings joy, knowing that the Almighty will help you in everything that is in your way because God has no limits. If you put your faith in it.
Now I understand. Change isn't the end of something or something to fear. It's the continuation of our story to be truly happy.
Exactly. Thank you for spending this time with us today. And that brings us to the end of today's episode.
We hope this conversation helped you feel calm, supported, and more connected to English and to yourself.
In the next episode, we'll explore another important part of daily life and emotional expression in simple, natural English.
Until then, keep listening and keep growing.
Remember,
You can learn English.
one conversation at a time. See you in the next episode, and feel free to listen to our earlier episodes too.